Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's Baba Kizo again. Today I'm just going to review what I've been up to for about a few weeks now. So this is the 9 weeks streak. So I've been consistent for about 9 weeks. So yeah, clapping for myself. So 21% offensive, 5% defensive, and 16% general. So I'm mostly interested in learning the offensive stuff, trying to learn how to break into machine and stuff. That's the cool shit. But you need to know how to defend what you're doing to a little bit. I need to brush up on the defensive skill as well. But
we do not care.
today, what I'm going to do is just we'll run through what I've learned so far and just complete a skill assessment to be able to showcase what and how to think about stuff a little bit. So
Few moments later.
in here we learned. I did learn a lot, so I'm not gonna say we learned a lot. So I learned a lot. There are some things I'm familiar with and some things I just get to relearn and just understand it better in this getting started path. So they talked about the infosec overview, blah blah blah. There's a bunch of interesting topics and what they talked about, and I'm fairly familiar with the topics already. So I'm not gonna waste your time in walking through this all over again. You just see what we learned so far. So introduction, infosec overview. We learned to set up the machines all over again. I know how to do all of this before, but walking through it again helps you refresh your memory and makes you have the solid basic knowledge you need for this part. So I completed a lot of boxes, answered a lot of questions so far, and I have this blog on my website as well. I'm gonna make a video about it maybe later. Types of shells. It's pretty interesting, the different types of shell and what a shell is, and well, more to come later in the future. Privilege escalation, and we're gonna perform one privilege escalation in this video. So it's gonna be really basic stuff, but so far this is all I've learned. Nibbles, attacking your first box. I did attack the first box again, and solving problems and blah blah blah. So now we're just going straight to the knowledge.
A few moments later.
So in the knowledge check, let's put together everything we learned in this module and attack our first box without a guide. Nice. Yeah, they gave us some of their recommended tips here, but I just want to complete this video really quickly, and we are going to do it in the most effective and the fastest way possible. And I hope you get something from it, but
I got you, homie.
box. You could read through this in your own time. You can just pause the video and read all of this. But I'm trying to make the video as short as I can.
So that was a lie.
So we just read through it from here. There are two ways to gain a foothold. One is using Metasploit and one via a manual process. I'm going to use the fastest way, Metasploit, and I will show the manual process too, but I'm not going to walk through every single step of it, but I'll show what the manual process looks like. Challenge ourselves to work and gain an understanding of both methods. Yeah. There are two ways to escalate privileges to root on the targets after obtaining a foothold. Make use of helper scripts such as lean-enum and lean-peace to assist you. These tools are the automated scripts that helps you find vulnerabilities and maybe even elevate your privilege. But we have a faster way to do it than even these tools. So filter through the information section for well-known vulnerability or well-known privilege escalation techniques. Have fun, never stop learning, and do not forget to think outside of the box. And I think we are thinking outside of the box in this part.
Few moments later.
So we have our IP address on, and we have the machine. The target machine is on right now, and the answers are already filled up. But I'm going to show you how I got to the answer step by step again. So let's get straight to it. So first step, copy the IP address of the target, and we are going to add it to our Etsy host. So we are able to just browse the name instead of using the IP address. So sudo nano Etsy host. Nano is a editor, text editor, and Etsy host is where I set the DNS option, and I already have one there before, but I need to update the IP address. So instead of using the IP address to look for the target on the web, we are going to use this, the name, getting started. So we copy this, X copy, and now we start afresh. We use nmap as they recommended for us to use from the beginning, and go there, nmap -sf. Oh yeah, that's just it. This -sf to look for the version running on the ports open, and this scans the top 1000, so it does it really quickly for us, and it's not going to take too much of our time because we are trying to be managing our time here. So let's get to it. Cool. We found two ports open, port 22 and port 80. Port 22 is the SSH service running on there, and port 80 has the HTTP running on there, and it's open and it has Apache running on there. So first thing to do is just go to the port 80 and look at what server is running on there. We can do that through our browser. We can just do that on the terminal here. But for now, I just try to see it on the terminal first. So looking at it on the terminal, I can see it's a get simple CMS running on there. So we copy this and looking through all of this. Not a lot of interesting stuff yet, but I'll save this to our notes. Don't mind my notes, it's not exactly. We go again, and this is the way we browse to it on the browser. Whatever browser we use, it's fine. So not a lot of information is in here, just looking through it. We are going to look for more directories and files we can access. So now I know we have the theme, the directory, the theme is there, one, and assets is most likely there. But to find out more, we're going to use the Go Buster to find that out. So Go Buster, let's go look at the browser first. Sorry, I'm all over the place. The next step is to go to the browser and just paste this, getting started, or HTB, and just click it. Nice, we're able to access it on the web already. So we know the target has a web browser. So what do we look for in the web browser? Checking through it on the call command I ran earlier, there was nothing really juicy there. So we're going to use a Go Buster to do some magic of finding more directory or path that's there, so, or files that's there. So let's just go to my notes. That's really unorganized. God, bro, hell. That command I already have here, and that's the directory brute forcer. So paste, command, paste. So Go Buster directory -u. This identifies the target I'm trying to attack, and this is the target. -w, the word list I'm trying to use against the targets, and that's just basically simple. But to find out more commands on how to use it later, you can just do the Go Buster -h, and this shows you all of the possible commands you could possibly use for the Go Buster. But let's get straight to it. I'll just paste this my command here and find out what directories or files are accessible to me via that website or web page, you can call it. So I found the admin. There is more coming, but as long as we find this one looks juicy, because finding any directory that leads to the admin, you should really check it out and see what's up with it. So we just go there, open another browser, admin, and now this is the login page. We can try the default password for getting started, or just use random brute force. But for now, we're going to try the default password as usually on services. So we use the admin. It's usually admin, same username, same password. Let's see if that works. Yeah, and that's taking a minute there. We'll go check our scan and see what's still loading. Okay, there's robots.txt. Usually there's some juicy information in this robots.txt. It's worth checking out. But I think we are signed in. Okay, great. The password worked, and it's not supposed to be that easy, but this is just a skill assessment and it's just a basic test for the beginners. So that's easy.
That was easy.
Okay, next step is we can see the version of the CMS being used here. So just straight up, just copy it and go paste it on your browser for a minute and let that load. I need to save the other output just in case this doesn't work. So we copy all of the GoBuster outputs. So we have all of this directory we could check out. But since I found the admin and I'm able to get in there, I think I should be fine. But just in case I'm not fine, we're gonna look through all of this later. 403, the status means you're not allowed to access it. If you see that, just ignore it. Well, usually there is a bypass for it, but sometimes just not worth digging into. And 200 means okay, you're allowed to access it. Admin redirect. So, anyways, our Google search results is out, and we found this on GitHub. That's the script to automatically exploit this website, this web page actually, to give us a remote code execution. So let's just say this is a random page online and I want to get access to it. That's what I'm trying to do and answer this question, these two questions. You get a user txt and the flag for root. So already I have this downloaded on my thing. You could just look through it and read through it in your own time. It's cool. So how to download this on your system is just, they give you a step to download it actually. So this is how you download it onto your system. Git clone, blah blah blah. Follow this easy step. It's easy. But I'm going to be using the Metasploit today. So and that's really quick. Do all the work for you. Just sit back and just get your shit done. Okay, moving on. We found out there's a vulnerability for it on here, and I already have this on my computer. So we go look for this vulnerability on Metasploit. So going to run Metasploit, MSF console. That's how you open up the Metasploit. And Metasploit is an automated exploit tool. It helps you run the exploit automatically, even when you don't know how to run the manual script. But I do know how to run the manual script, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. But I'm not gonna walk through all of the steps. Damn, feels like I'm talking too quickly, but my bad. So we cd into this because if you download that manual tool we saw under, this is what it's going to look like. Then you list directory and it's a Python. So running a Python, this is how you run a Python script. So we click on there. Okay. Python gives us this. So they ask us for the target, and yeah, this is exactly the name of the target. That's good. So this tool is actually just made for that machine. So we just put that in there and click enter. What command to execute on the targets when it gets in. So I want to know what ID I have. So what user am I into the system as? So we are landing into the system blindly and not knowing what permissions we have. So with this ID command, you find out what you are, what's your username as signed in. So we click enter. So for now, that was successful. We are www data. That's the user that we are. And usually this has a really low privilege. Then eventually we're going to have to elevate our privilege. But for now, we're not going to use this for that. We're going to use our Metasploit that I have running back here. And one more thing to show you is the netcat. And this is how you set up your netcat. So the next time, instead of me just putting ID to the command to execute, I'm going to put in a reverse shell command. So the target, the victim, can connect back to my system. And that takes a few more steps that I'll show later, but not in this video. We're just going to use the Metasploit to do it really easily and not take too much more of your time than I already did.
So that was a lie.
Metasploit is open, so we search for get simple. What's the name of our target again? I forgot. We go there. This is what we are looking for. Copy, paste, search. Okay, yeah, we have an RCE command here. So to use this, we just click the use one because this is the one we want to use, right? This one, the remote code execution. Remote code execution simply just means gaining a remote access to a system, just like we all know about RDP, right? So just like an RDP, that's how it is. So now we're using this and trying to get remote code execution on the system. Click options to find out what options you need to fill in to run the attack. Okay, now the options I do have to fill in is the remote host. The port is 80, as we can see that we found on nmap. That's where the target is running on. Target URL. Sometimes you need to change this URL, but for now we don't have to. And we have to change our local host to our local IP address. So this is my IP address because I'm using a VPN, right? And it needs to connect back to the VPN because we are not on the same network with this machine we are targeting. So we're just gonna run it really quickly. Set our host. What's our IP again? I keep forgetting, man. So what is our IP address again? Oh damn. Go back there and copy this. Go back here and this is our IP address. Click enter. And what else do we have to set? Set localhost. Set lhost 10.10.14.28. Enter. And that's not it yet, I think. The remote host, the local host, and we need a proper shell that we can control that responds to all of the commands we have. Sometimes this shell is kind of fucking up, it doesn't respond to the way I want it, so we're going to use a generic shell that I already have written down here. So this is it. Copy that, paste it here, set payload generic reverse shell. And that's it for now. And it just run to run the command, we just push the run. Really feels like I'm running through this too quickly, but it is what it is. So give it a few minutes. It's going to perform the magic for you. You just sit back and chill. So this says command shell session 1 opened, means we got a revert shell. Everything just looks the same right now. You just might not understand what you're looking at, but if I typed in a command, we can see it's listing directory. Ls means to list directory in that folder or that path. So to get more view of what we're looking at and just not continue blindly, we're going to get more stable shell. This is the command to get a more stable shell. So just paste that in there. It's a Python shell to get a. Okay, we got this now, so we can see we have a name, www data, just as we found with the manual tool. Yeah, remember, found it with the manual tool. So what do we do next? We try to go to the home user because I'm sure there is a home directory there. That's where the users usually are. So release directory, cd Mr. Ben, that's the available user there. So it means that's where the user.txt would be. And I'm right. Correct. So we cat this to cat, just put cat user.txt. Catting means just print out or just expose what's in there, view it. Sometimes you're not able to view it because you don't have enough permission. But in this case, we have enough permission and we don't have to worry too much. And next we move on. This is the answer for number 1. Okay. Number 2. After obtaining a foothold on the target, escalates privileges to root and submits the content of the root.txt. So just in the context of a real world, the way we gained access to the machine and have access to this user.txt. It's like gaining access into someone's system and the person has a password.txt or their private information on the desktop. You can easily just cut it and read through it on your shell. And that's basically what I just did here. Because in the case of capture the flag, they usually just use user.txt so you can identify what you're looking for and answer the questions. But in penetration testing, it's a little bit different in the real world because you're not just looking for a specific user.txt. Everybody saves their personal information differently, so you just open your mind to what you're looking at. So the next step is going to be really, really, really quick. Rather than the steps they wanted me to take, I will take a really different step because they said think outside of the box. To get to roots, all you have to do just step back first. Step back, look for root folder first. Move back, cd dash dash makes you go back and this directory. And we found the root directory, so we try to change directory into the root directory. But it says permission denied. How do you overcome this? By using this simple command sudo -l. You find out what permissions you have on what folder, what file, or what permissions do you have. So I see that I have a permission to run this PHP. User.php, yours being a PHP. Means I could run it as root because I'm trying to gain the root privilege, right? And doing this sudo.l command shows me what I could run as root. So if I could run this PHP as root, I could start up a shell in the root of this PHP. So I hope you get this explanation because even me, I got you confused there. So what we're going to do now is just copy it and just take note of this PHP and go to GTFO bin. That's what gives you a command to elevate your privilege to whatever it is you want. So just search for GTFO bins.github.io. So let's give you a short definition of what this is. GTFO bin is a curated list of Unix binaries that can be used to bypass local security restrictions in misconfigured systems. I think that's pretty straightforward to understand. So we're just gonna search the PHP that we have permission, sudo permission over. So go to sudo, because the sudo permission is what we have permission, all we're able to do, right? So if the binary is allowed to run as super user by sudo, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be used to access the file system, escalate or maintain privilege. That's pretty straightforward. And long story short, I've been talking about this is the really straightforward definition of what I'm saying. So just copy this command and paste it on our terminal. So this is a command to open up a shell. And we're gonna run this PHP now to actually execute what we started. So go back, copy, and paste here. So sudo php-r run system command. So this is the cmd that's running here. If I change this name to something else, it's still gonna run. So enter. It goes blind again for a minute. So let's go use our Python script to see if we are in or what's going on. First type in ID and see if it works. Yeah, we got a root privilege so quickly, even quicker than the method they recommended.
That was easy.
The step they recommended was to go through using the lean piece or lean enum. That's cool. That could help you elevate the privilege automatically, actually. But this is also good for your knowledge. So we just paste this here and give us some visibility. Yeah, well, it's not giving us any visibility, so just move on. So ls cd change directory to root. Are we able to get in? Yes, we are. And list directory, and that's the root.txt we are looking for. Root.txt, and boom, that's the second answer. That was really easy, right? yeah, it's usually not this easy, but this is the beginner step. So good job. Now we can do whatever the fuck we want again and just continue exploring and shit. Yeah, thanks again for joining me.
I got you, homie.
We completed it together. Congratulations to us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please and thank you.